Hi, I'm Kendra with WTMAstrology, and today I am talking about Taurus and Cancer compatibility. Now, if you've seen any of my other compatibility videos, then you know that I really love the sextile relationship. So I do like this pairing a lot for, romantic or really any kind of compatibility. Now, in Taurus we have fixed earth, and in Cancer we have cardinal water. What I love about the sextile, and that means, 60 degrees away from each other in the zodiac, what I love about the sextile relationship is that they're similar enough because they have the same polarity. They have the same yin polarity in this case. They're similar enough to where they really understand each other, but they're different enough to where they can see kind of a different side, a different way of looking at things, and that can induce growth. So because of that similarity as far as polarity, and so being able to understand each other in that way, they're really compatible. There's not all this tension that could be caused with, a yin sign and a yang sign, that can be inherently difficult. But because of them having the same polarity, while having other things that distinguish them from one another, they can really grow from each other because they have that inherent understanding, yet there's enough differences for them to really grow within that relationship. And I've seen some Taurus and Cancer couples in particular that really work well together. Here's what I love about the Taurus and Cancer relationship. Both of these signs are going to be concerned with stability in different ways. Taurus really wants material security, material stability. Um, they like for things to remain consistent. They like for things to remain um, kind of predictable. That can get a little boring for Taurus and for the people they um, are in a relationship with, but Taurus does like stability. And the gift of Taurus' desire for stability is that they can really accumulate. They can, because they're fixed on one material way of doing things, one routine, that can really be really conducive to accumulating wealth and being able to keep to one specific task, one specific person, um, being able to be fixed in that material way allows them to really accumulate and grow. Taurus is wonderful about manifesting and growing because they're able to keep focus on one chosen avenue, one person, one way of doing things. Taurus is wonderful at manifesting and growing because of that. Then you have Cancer, who really desires emotional security. They really want to have a stable home environment. They really want to have the feeling of security. They want to know that they know what's coming at the end of the day. They want to know that their partner is going to be stable for them. Their partner is going to provide for them. Their partner is going to be their rock, so to speak. Cancer really wants a partner who can kind of be their rock because Cancer is so emotional. There can be a lot of ups and downs with Cancer. So Cancer really desires a partner who can kind of give them a kind of emotional stability. So with Taurus and Cancer, this is sort of an ideal relationship, in my opinion, because Taurus and Cancer can really give each other this kind of stability. Taurus can give Cancer that feeling of stability because they're so stability oriented. They're already so security oriented. They're focused on building and growing with the same person and with the same, kind of having those routines and going through the motions. They don't leave situations easily. So with Taurus and Cancer, Taurus can really give Cancer that kind of foundation that they really want, that thing that they know they can fall back on, that connection that they know is not going away easily. Um, and that really comforts Cancer emotionally. That gives them kind of a place from which they can explore their more murky waters, I suppose. So, Cancer really needs to kind of be able to explore this more emotional side of themselves, but without that material security, without knowing that things are going to be okay if they do that, and they're not losing anything by doing that. They're not really able to explore those emotions. They don't feel safe and comfortable to explore those emotions, and Taurus gives them that feeling of security that, yeah, I can go and do my thing. I can feel my feelings, and my partner's not going to leave me just because I'm having a bad day or I'm feeling moody or whatever. And as far as Taurus is concerned, they can really benefit from uh, Cancer's love and their sentimentality. Cancer has a lot of love to give, and they're very emotionally connected. So Cancer can really be emotionally nurturing to Taurus, and Taurus can really benefit from that. Um, those feelings of love. Taurus desires that security too. But they can Taurus is grounded enough to kind of be their own material security and also be able to provide that to someone else. But what they might not be able to provide themselves is that emotional care and that emotional, sentimental, caring love that Cancer can offer them. So I think this is a wonderful connection for that reason. This is another one of those things to where they can really grow from each other because they have different approaches, but they kind of have the same set of needs. You've got Taurus who's very concerned with the material realm, and Cancer who's more concerned with the emotional realm, but at the end of the day they both want that security. So I think that this can be really, really positive pairing for that. And you've got Cancer who's really focused in the domestic arena as well. That's one more possible benefit to this relationship, is that Cancer can be kind of a homebody, and Cancer can be very private and wanting to keep a lot of their energy to themselves. And Taurus doesn't like to make a lot of changes in the routine. They're both kind of probably going to want to spend a lot of time alone together. And they can be private and still have that connectedness. They're not going to be pushing each other to go outside all the time and constantly finding new things to do. Even if they do that, they can be very understanding of one another. If one of them says, I don't feel like going out today, I'm feeling moody, I'm feeling emotional, or I just don't feel like breaking my routine. Taurus and Cancer can be very understanding of one another in that way. Now, some of the negative aspects of this dynamic: Taurus, again, this is a very grounded sign. So, this is not an emotional sign like Cancer. This is going to be a sign that is more concerned with the material realm, kind of can be more surface oriented, and that's not a negative thing. This is their domain. Because they're an earth sign, they are concerned with the physical, they're concerned with the material, they are concerned with growing in a practical way that is visible and that is tangible. So that's going to be the domain of Taurus. With Cancer, you've got a water sign, arguably the most emotional sign in the zodiac, who is very emotionally centered. You've got someone who really needs emotional connection, emotional security. They need to feel that connectedness. They need to feel romance. They need to feel that there's this emotional connection with their partner. And Taurus is not going to be the best at giving them that emotional connection. So, because Taurus is so grounded and they are so sensible, Cancer is not always sensible because they are very emotions centered. So if their emotions aren't particularly sensible or not really informed by logic, Taurus may not be very good at understanding that, yes, there's not a lot of logic happening here, but they still need me. They still need me to connect with them emotionally. So I'm going to do that. Taurus can just be very sensible and practical in their approach to Cancer, being that they are just a sensible sign. They're not too concerned with, emotions and, things that might seem a little bit frivolous to them. They might not be the best candidate for giving Cancer that emotional connection that Cancer really needs. And it's something that Taurus might have to learn. And Taurus is fixed earth. They're very stubborn. So it can be very hard for Taurus to change their ways and learn to connect with Cancer in the way that they really need them to. So if you're the Taurus in this dynamic, it's going to be important for you to remember that Cancer needs that emotional security. They need that emotional connection. And you may have to go out of your way to try to be that for them. And then as far as, Taurus's needs are concerned, Taurus really just needs that sensibleness. They really need that groundedness. They need to feel that everything is making sense in a practical and logical way. And Cancer, being that they are not necessarily always very logical, and they're very intuitive, and they're very informed by their emotions, being that there's this dynamic happening, it can be very difficult for Taurus to keep up with the ebbing and flowing emotions of Cancer. Remember, Taurus is fixed. Taurus likes to be steady, likes to kind of stay in the same place. They're focused on building, and that requires staying steady and focusing on what you're trying to grow and not being swept away by your emotions. So, Cancer can be a little bit of an emotional roller coaster for Taurus. They can feel a little bit um, they can have feel that their stability is challenged, at least by the emotional ups and downs of Cancer, and trying to keep up with Cancer's emotions, trying to connect with them emotionally, but feeling like they're lacking in that way, and they're not going to be enough for Cancer because they're just not inclined in that way, generally speaking, unless there's other things going on in the chart. But they can definitely challenge one another because they do have those differences. One being concerned with the material and one being concerned with the emotional. But overall, this can be a very positive dynamic, and they can provide each other a lot of stability, and there's a lot that they can offer one another if they can try to understand each other enough to benefit from that sextile relationship. Anyway, that is the end of my Taurus and Cancer compatibility video. I did want to remind you that I have all kinds of relationship readings in my store, and I'm leaving a link in the description of this video. I have, the hour-long or hour-and-a-half-long relationship readings, and I also have mini relationship reports, which are basically kind of an overview of the things that really stand out to me about your relationship. So anyway, check that out. Again, I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and have a great day.